And we are live. What's good, y'all? It's your man DL Saint. Welcome to the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast. Man, I hope y'all having a good time, man. It's Friday. It's it. You're almost here. If y'all got to work, I guess you got to wait till you get off work. But it's Friday, y'all. It's Friday. Y'all know what time it is. I am simply checking the sound real quick. Give me a moment whilst I do this. Bam. Sound real quick. Y'all know how I get down. And we are good. One of these days, I'm gonna trust myself that I did my starter protocol properly. I know it's the middle of the afternoon. I just be popping up random times. I know it. I hear y'all. People have been talking to me and say, "Yo, Saint, what are you doing, man? You need a time. Give us a time so we can catch your shows. You're all over the place. We can't plan our day." So be it. From now on, I will go live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6:30. I'm going to change the banner on the YouTube page and everything. It's going to be the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Show it. That is what we're going to be doing from now on. And then I'll be jumping up and doing whatever. If I get a random show, whatever, I'll still go on. I'll still be doing these random shows, just popping up when I pop up. But it's gonna be those three slots every Tuesday night, Thursday night, and Saturday night evening at 6:30. That's what we're gonna be doing. Brother Jason's in the house, man. Viper Jay's in the house. What's good, fellas? How you doing, fam? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming through. Last night I was talking a little bit about the wannabe alpha guys road raging and they shot each other's children. That was a pretty heavy episode right there, man, but it just shows we got some real stupid people out there. At the end of that show, I said, next time y'all see me, I'm gonna do something funny. So I had scheduled, I had in the thumbnails, a thumbnail out there when I was gonna talk about, there's an ABC news producer who had his home raided by the FBI. This was a proper raid. They brought weapons. They brought equipment. This was a proper raid. They executed a search warrant, but they came heavy. And the producer is missing. So I was going to talk about that situation. We just pushed that to Monday. We'll talk about it on Monday. That's the thumbnail is out. That's going to be an afternoon show. We'll do that Monday at 1 o'clock. Excuse me. But yeah. So I decided to push that, and instead I'm going to talk about my favorite comedian who's out here rocking it right now, Bill Burr. And y'all know I'm a stand-up comedian, man. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that world that people don't really understand. And, you know, when you coming up with material and stuff like that. So, and then there's clean material. So, like, I'm not considered a clean comic. I say what I want to say. I use a lot of curse words. That's my thing. I enjoy it. It's my stand-up. When I do my thing, that's how I do it. The problem with that is it's hard for me to get certain gigs. There's certain venues you can't play. There's certain, like, you can't do mainstream media. Like the networks, you can't do certain corporate gigs. You know what I mean? There are people who are stringent on that. There's certain colleges you can't play certain colleges. They want clean comics, which is fine. And, you know, my people in the game would always tell me, man, like, just switch it up. And what we're going to do is we're going to watch Bill Burr. This is like Bill Burr from back in the day. It's the same bit. One bit was on television, so it was cleaned up. And the other time, it was just him on stage, and it was his norm. Just so we could talk about the difference. And it's funny, too, like when you're doing stand-up, it's not that hard to make it clean. I guess I was just being a knucklehead. I'm like, I want to do what I want to do. But you're only talking about moving around a couple of words, honestly. Changing around a couple of words. And it, you know, maybe adding on to an act out. Like if you're doing something, like be more exaggerated with your act outs, you'll still be able to get the laugh. If your material is solid. It really doesn't matter what words you use, to be honest with you. But I was a knucklehead back then. I'm like, whatever, I don't want to do it. But later in my career, I did decide, you know what? If I'm going to be a true comedian, a true professional, I have to be able to give people what they want to pay for, which means I'm going to have to be able to clean up certain bits by doing just that. So we got Got a couple of videos queued up here so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Brother Primal's in the house. What's good, fam? How you feeling? Good to see you. Thanks for popping in, man. I know it's hard to catch me, man, because I'll be all over the place. But from now on, bro, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 6:30 p.m., I will go live. Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And then I'll just do the random shows whenever. But like I said, I've heard all my people are telling me, and I hear y'all. Like, bro, you too random. You all over the place. We're trying to follow you, making it hard, man. Do us a favor. Bet. Done. That's what we're going to do. And Brother Parimo, it was like, yeah, good comedians can make things funny without being always vulgar. Yep, that's true. And a lot of the times, it's not even that it's, some people will say it's vulgar. You can take vulgar subject matter and remove the curse words, and it's not as bad. Like, it's still grown up subject matter, but you can still make it funny, and it's not that bad. It'll get you on the network. There's some bits that you can't do on network no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to leave that material alone. But yeah, like when you're doing stand up, it's fun. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I got people come up to me all the time. They ask me about it. Like, being a stand up comedian is great. It is a lot of fun. Making strangers laugh, bro. I'm telling you, it's nothing like it. It's just a cool thing. Yeah, and it doesn't really matter. You got comedians out there who are never vulgar, never use curse words, and are hilarious as hell. Bill Cosby being one of them, but he had his own hang-ups. I'm just saying, but as far as his comedy was concerned, he wasn't dirty. The other stuff, the Bill Cosby thing, was a little different. So yeah, there are other comics out there. I can't think of their names off the top of my head, but all the guys that I know can clean up their routines, drop of a hat. You know what I mean? All the guys I know. I look at like Sam Tripoli. I look at Brett Ernst. You know what I mean? John Huck, Ty Barnett. All the guys that I came up with that I know. Yes, when they're in the clubs and they're doing their thing, growing up materials, they crush it. But when they have to go on the networks or whatever, they can clean it up. So those are the guys who are like, yeah, bro, you got to clean it up. So when needed, and that's being a professional, got to be able to give people what they pay for. You know what I mean? Brother Prime was like facts. You know what I mean? Brother Jay, Viper J, clean and vulgar is really funny to me. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's all about the material. It's all about the subject matter, bro. And it's all about being able to relate. So, and then when you talk about Red Pill, I would argue Bill Burr has been spreading the Red Pill message his entire career. But, you know what I mean? But he's so good at making people laugh, they don't realize what they're laughing at. Like the stuff he's talking about. We're going to see a little bit of that today. So yeah, man, this was early 2000. This bit right here, he's talking about marriage, which again, this stuff has been going on forever. A lot of people in the manosphere, like what's going on with, what's going on YouTube and the man space with the RP and all that. People are like, this is brand new. These we've never heard this stuff from men. Come on, man, this stuff has been around forever. This is the early 2000s. Bill Burr is probably working on this bit like 2000, 2001, and then finally probably got it polished off by 05 or so and was running with it for a while. But just to let you know, he's been talking about this stuff for a very, very long time. So yeah, man, let's get into it. He's talking about marriage. Let's see this one. And this, like I said, is a funny bit. So let's check this out real quick.
I'm at that age where everybody I know is getting married. Let me ask you a question. Why the hell do people keep getting married? Isn't anybody looking at the stats? I mean, what's it like? 1 out of 2 marriages go right down the drain now? People, if you were going skydiving and they told you half the parachutes weren't going to open, you'd be like, yo, forget it. I'm not going. I don't like those odds. I got a 50% chance of splatting on the ground. I'm not doing it. But there's something about getting married. People just have to do it, right? They just...
He's on a late night show, knows not a single curse word, not one, right? And this is some funny stuff. You know what I mean? Just talking about the stats. Bill Burr's a sports guy. So, just bringing it up. We like 50%. We accept those numbers today, right? 50% of marriages end in divorce in America, and 70 to 80% of those divorces are initiated by women, right? These are just like accepted numbers. Go look it up. The stats are out there, which I thought was real funny. But let's continue.
It's like, is this the line to lose half my stuff? Awesome. This is going to be great. I can't wait to lose my car, my money. Oh, look, the line's moving. One step closer to my own personal hell. No, married guys crack me up, too.
And he wasn't playing with that, was he? One step closer to my own personal hell, which man, that's funny. So we're going to come back to that. So that's the bit right there, right? So great bit. People laugh at it. Doesn't matter where you sit in the spectrum, pro marriage, against marriage, red pill, blue pill, feminist, masculine. It does not matter where you fit. The way he put it together is so funny. Is this the line I stand in to lose half my stuff? Brilliant. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to get us to the next one. So we're gonna watch another clip. Same bit. Bill Burr, only this time he is doing the grown-up version. Right? Doing the grown-up version. So, and if there's any young comics out here, I suggest that y'all do this sort of thing. Go and study whoever it is you went to as far as comedy. Go and study these different styles of stand-up, right? Look at the Chappelles, look at the Burrs, look at the John Hucks, look at the Ty Barnetts, look at, the Sebastian Maniscalcos, man. Go back and look at the Seinfelds. Go back and look at, look at Richard Pryor, look at George Carlin. Go back and actually watch them, study them, study their method, right? That'll definitely help you as a comedian. When I was starting out, I was just in the club, so I'm sitting there, I'm just watching. Like I would get to watch Dub Davidoff come out, you know what I mean? And his style was so funny to me, man. I was just check that out, man. Like I would be out there and I could watch Ralphie May and Dane Cook, you know what I mean? Alonzo Bowden, you know what I mean? Tammy Pascatelli. I'm right there with them. You know what I mean? I wasn't getting on the shows, but I was, as an open micer, and I'm in the scene, and I get to see Joe Rogan crush. I get to see John Caparillo crush. You know what I mean? Sam Tripoli, just devastate a room. You know what I mean? I got to see all that. But if you don't have that, just use what's out there, man. Just pull up that stuff and watch for yourself and study, man. It's like watching game film, bro. It's the only way you're gonna get better. Brother Doug's in the house. What's good, fam? That's right, man. Brother Jay's talking about, yeah, Sinbad. You talk about someone who never used curse words. That's it. Perfect example. Sinbad never would swear, never use curse words. So much energy, so funny. You know what I mean? But then you have people like Bernie Mac, complete opposite, just as funny. I'm working on it now. I'm going to do a show when I'm going to talk like top 20 black stand-up comedians, right? I want to talk about that. We're going to do that one of the upcoming shows. I don't know when, but we're definitely going to get to that pretty quick. But here's the same routine, right? But this time it's just, he's in the club, he's doing his thing. And we can hear the difference, man. Let's check this out.
You know what I mean? Isn't anybody looking at the stats? You know what I mean? 3 out of 4 marriages go right down the shitter, right? If you were going skydiving and they told you 3 out of 4 parachutes weren't going to open, you'd be like, yo, fuck that, I'm not going. Like, I don't like those odds. I have a 75% chance of splatting on the ground. But there's something about getting married. People just have to do it, right? They're just like, is this the line to lose half my shit? Awesome. This is going to be great. No, I'm just kidding.
Yo, right there. Same bit, same, you know what I mean? Same part of the bit. Like that was just a little clip of a much bigger routine that he had been working on, right? So in a way it happens, like they come to you and they're like, hey man, the media want, like networks want you, bro. We can get you on one of the late shows. So you have to send in, either you have to send in a tape or you got to audition for them. Normally they do both. I don't know how they're doing it now, but it used to be someone would come and see you and then they would ask you for a tape of you performing live. You got to send that in. And it's normally like 3 to 5 minutes. So it's like 3 minutes. So right away, you could hear the bigger laughs when he was able to use the swear words. You know what I mean? Is this the line I lose half my shit? Right? Which is when he did the network, it was like, oh, is this the line to lose half my stuff? You know what I mean? Or like the thing with the parachute. If you tell me that, half the parachutes aren't going to work, fuck that. I'm not going. Whereas when he did the network, forget that. Just a slight change, you know what I mean, of the one, maybe two words changes everything. But it seemed that he was getting bigger laughs when he was able to just let loose with his colorful language, right? So, and that's one of the things that I noticed. You get bigger laughs. Maybe it's because people just want the realism. It just feels like they're having this intimate conversation with you at the bar or something. I don't know what it is, but it always seems to me that you get bigger laughs with the colorful language, right? So, and that's one of the things too. Like, so you go on, like, as a comedian, when you first start, just coming up with 5 minutes of material would take at least a year. To get 5 good minutes, at least a year, if not longer. It took me like a year and a half to get 5 good minutes. 5 good minutes. And then you spend the rest of your time trying to create or stretch that or create, 15 minutes, then 30, then 45, then an hour of like a solid hour. Like, man, it seemed like a lifetime to get that first hour. Right. And that was the big thing. So once you get to that hour, when you get to that point, like, you're good, your stage presence is there, like your crowd work is good, all that stuff is on point. You're using the words you want to use, and bam, here comes the network. Here comes your agent. Here comes your manager. Hey, man, you making noise. NBC wants you, but it has to be clean. Or I got this corporation over here. You know what I mean? Microsoft wants you to perform at one of their conventions, but it has to be clean. Or University of Notre Dame wants you to perform, but it has to be clean. Like, all right, I can clean it up. I can do my hour, and I can take out the curse words. But when you deal with the network, you won't get an hour. You got to take all that material and you got to shrink it down to like 2 minutes. 2 minutes, right? Sometimes they'll let you go to 5. So anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes, you got to shrink that down. You got to get the best of your material and shrink it down, take the curse words out, and going into the studio and do it. And if you're lucky, you got a studio audience. Sometimes it's just you and the crew. I've done shows where it's just me and the crew. And like as a comedian, you need that interaction. You know what I'm saying? You need to hear them laughing. The crew has been been instructed not to laugh, but they'll laugh anyway, but they're trying to keep it in. You need that. So, but yeah, bro, that's the challenge of stand-up comedy. And the great ones, they figure it out. And Brother Prime was like, I know what you mean. Yeah, man. Like, this stuff is crazy. So you got to see right there that the subtle use of the word fuck for interest or shit. That's all he really changed, those 2 words. It's all he really changed, man. Let's go back and watch the first one again. Because, and another thing too, that when you get into that situation where you're performing, when you're a good comedian, man, you have what we call laugh breaks, bro. Like, when people start laughing for real, they can't stop. You know what I mean? They can't stop. So you have to wait for them to stop laughing so you can tell your next joke. But the producers, they're not waiting. The clock starts and it's just ticking, right? So if you get a laugh break, that takes away from your routine. So you have to figure out a way to plow through that. It's like so many different pressures on you, man, which is hilarious. If I'm just on stage somewhere, if I'm at someone's comedy club or some event somewhere, yeah, I love laugh breaks, man. That's what you work for. Applause breaks, laugh breaks. You go back and brag to the other comics. Yo, I got 3 applause breaks, bro. I got 3 laugh breaks, bro. But you can't do that on stage for the network show because you got to run through your material. Like this part where, like, Bill Burr did like maybe 3 minutes, I think 3 or 4 minutes on this thing we're looking at now. But I'm just going to take it back to what we watched before. Just so you can see, it's like, bro. Here we go. Let's run it right here.
Everybody I know is getting married. Let me ask you a question. Why the hell do people keep getting married? Isn't any...
And even the word hell, like, why the hell do people keep getting married? there were notes that went up to the studio, to the executives and stuff like that came back to say, yeah, you can use the word hell. There's certain words that you can say on network TV. I think damn is one of them. Hell is one of them. I think you can say bitch, I think. But there are words that you can and cannot say. So you're sitting there, you're working on your material, then your agent comes in with some notes like, oh, you got to change this, or they don't like that. And you can be like, man, screw it, I'm not going to do it, but that's going to hurt your career. And remind you, back in the day, there was no social media. There was no, I'm just going to go on YouTube and say these jokes. You couldn't do that. You had to go through Hollywood if you wanted to be a top tier comedian. You had to do that late night circuit. You had to. There was no other choice. And then once you did that, you go over to HBO and do something like, Def Comedy Jam, or get you a 30-minute special on HBO or something like that. Right? Then Showtime. But there was a process. And you had to be, and they ran you through it. But once you did it, that's when you really started hitting the big money. That's when your stage time goes up. So now you go out on the road and you headline a club, you're making, 100% more because you're a bigger draw, because the rest of the country has seen you. And when we started, this was before Last Comic and all that. Like I got into the business right as Last Comic Standing was starting to come around, and it didn't last that long. And at first, brother August is in the house. What's good, fam? Art of Red Meat, indeed. Sister Candace in the house. Hey, love, how you doing? You know what I mean? Good afternoon to you, love. So I finally announced that this is it. I'm always do these pop-up shows, but from now on, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 6:30 p.m., I'm going live. Guaranteed on them 3 days, unless something happens, and then I'll put out information. But that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a new banner. I'm going to change up my YouTube page. So that's the thing. Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 6:30 p.m., I'm going to be going live. And then on Tuesdays, we're going to talk about relationships. On Thursdays, we're going to talk about current events, politics, and all that kind of stuff. And then on Saturdays, it's going to be like a freestyle Saturday. We'll just talk about whatever I feel like talking about, or we'll drop the link and just have people come up and we'll just chop it up and chit chat or whatever. It's just going to be like a freestyle kind of thing on Saturdays. And for real, y'all, if y'all got any show ideas you want, please let me know. I'll do them. I'll do them. I'm down. So, but let's go back to this. So you notice right away, I stopped it there because of the word hell. And pay attention to the applause in this one, and we'll go back and watch the other one again and listen to the difference in applause.
Anybody looking at the stats? I mean, what's it like? 1 out of 2 marriages go right down the drain now? People, if you were going skydiving and they told you half the parachutes weren't going to open, you'd be like, yo, forget it, I'm not going.
And that's a pretty good laugh break. He's getting good laughs because that's a live studio audience. And yeah, they get warmed up and everything, but those are still good laughs. I don't think they will run an applause sign for the comics that come on to perform. I think they do it for, like for Letterman or for Leno or whoever. They have a big old applause signs for the people who on the show. But when they bring you on as a comedian, I don't think they have that. But that was a pretty good laugh, right? And, it was, forget that. You know what I mean? If half the parachutes aren't going to open, forget that. Come on now. Again, we're going to go back and we're going to watch the other one in real quick. And Miss Globe Girls in the house, what's good, love? I see you. Thanks for coming through, my favorite sailor. Good to see you, but let's continue.
I don't like those odds. I got a 50% chance of splatting on the ground. I'm not doing it. But there's something about getting married. People just have to do it, right? They're just like, is this the line to lose half my stuff? Awesome.
Remember, half my stuff as opposed to half my shit.
Great. I can't wait to lose my car, my money. Oh, look, the line's moving. One step closer.
And even the act out is a little more animated because he knows he can't use the words he wants to use. He knows those swear words work, right? He knows that's where he's getting the majority of the heavy laugh, right? But he can't use them, so he has to compensate somewhere. Let's do a little more animated. Let's do a little more of the voice, put a little more emphasis on the voice, the silly voice, the you know what I mean, like the act out portions. This is what you got to do as a comedian. This is what we do. We sit around, we try to figure out, okay, I know I got a good base here, but how can I make it funnier? My foundation is solid, but what can I do that I'm comfortable with to make this funnier? You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be looked at as a silly dude. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to cross that line into being a minstrel type thing. You still want to be a comedian. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that we do. So let's go back to the other one and watch that one last time. And, you know, and like listen to like pay attention, y'all, to the laugh breaks. It starts at 25 seconds. Pay attention to the laugh breaks. And I really do believe it's due to the material, the words. I think the words, you know, just a couple words, a couple curse words makes the difference.
Married. You know what I mean? Isn't anybody looking at the stats? You know what I mean? 3 out of 4 marriages go right down the shitter, right? If you were going skydiving and they told you 3 out of 4 parachutes weren't going to open, you'd be like, yo, fuck that, I'm not going.
Y'all hear that laugh?
Oh.
Y'all hear that laugh? That laugh break. If I go to jump out of an airplane, they tell you 3 out of 4 parachutes aren't going to open. Fuck that. Big laugh, big applause, as opposed to forget that, which she did on the network show. Big applause.
Like, I don't like those odds. I have a 75% chance of splatting on the ground. But there's something about getting married. People just have to do it, right? They're just like, is this the line to lose half my shit? Awesome. This is gonna be great.
You hear that laugh, though? Is this the line to lose half my shit as opposed to half my stuff? One word. You hear the laugh because they're still warmed up pretty good from the previous laugh, right? Everyone's in it. He's painted the picture perfectly. And it's just enough spice in there with these words. He's not like a vulgar comic. He just uses the perfect mix of clean and dirty.
No, I'm just kidding. I love women. I'm just not compatible with them.
And then we're going to go back to that in a second because, like I said, Bill Burr, in my opinion, was talking red pill stuff way back in the day. So we were talking about building your first 30 minutes, man. That is so hard in stand-up. Coming up with the first 30 minutes of material is so hard, especially today. Now when I perform, you know, people are so quick to pull out their phones and record you while you're working out material. Like you're trying to figure out this 30 or 45-minute set that you got coming up. So you're practicing, right? So when you go into the bars, you go into the, you know what I mean, the restaurants when people are just like, hey, we got a comedy night. You go to the open mics. You're going there so you can get in front of a couple people. You can run some material and see if it's something there. And people are filming you, bro. Like they like, we're doing you a favor. We're filming you. And then before you know it, you'll see that 3 minutes you was working on, those 3 minutes you were trying to perfect on YouTube. Because someone wants to get views. Oh, look, I got DL Saint, da. And it's like, man, stop helping me. You are not helping comedians by doing this. Don't do it. If you're going to film them and give it to that comic so they can look at it later, that's great. But don't film it and post it. Don't post it on TikTok. Don't post it on Instagram because they're trying to build a bigger set. You just killed their set. It's like, damn, it could take weeks to come up with a solid 3 minutes that you're trying to modify your 30 or 45-minute set with. Right? Because you're using stuff that you ain't used. Like you're going back into the archives like, oh, I ain't told this joke in a while. Oh, shit, let me do the hurricane bit. I haven't talked about that. Oh, shit, let me do the slippery when wet bit. I ain't did that in a long time. Oh, shit. So but because you haven't been doing it, it's not, you know, so it's still fresh because no one's seen it in a long time. And you're like, well, I got this, you know, I got 3 brand new minutes. Right? I'm going to do the Rascally Rabbit bit. I've never done this before. I've been working on it. And then you're ready to go do the show and you look up and then bam, there you are on YouTube. And everyone like, yeah, people are like, ha. They're going to that person's site. Their views are up. But it's like, damn, I can't run that. Let's say it goes viral. Shit. That's what the comics thinking like, damn, I can't run that. And you wind up running it anyway. But it's just kind of because people are like, oh, I've seen it. And whenever someone performs, they're like, I'm going to go to YouTube and try to find all their material. They do that to me all the time. I can't find you on YouTube. Good. You want to see me? You got to come to the show. You know what I mean? I managed to avoid that. You got to come see me. You know what I mean? Because people will go, they look at all your material and they'll come to the show and like, oh, man, I wish you'd have done something different. I saw all that other stuff, you know, in the parking lot before I came in. So, folks, if you want to help a comedian, don't film it. Don't film their stuff, man. Don't post their stuff unless they ask you to. You know what I mean? Brother Act, you should clip this, bro. I might. I.e. how Bill Burr and Chappelle clean their TV stand. I might, bro. Thank you. And it's good. I appreciate that breakdown, man. I'm trying to break it down. I might. Never met Chappelle, but I did meet Bill Burr once. Real cool cat, quiet dude. Most comedians, the great ones, are quiet, man. They sit back and watch because they're taking in information that they're going to use on stage at some point. But yeah, you see how 2 words, fucking shit. It's just those 2 words. And you heard the difference in the applause and the laugh from the audience versus this show where he's just having a good time, and the network show where he had to be clean. And that's why I fought so hard. People like, can you do clean? I'm like, I don't want to do clean. I can, but I don't want to. But let's continue.
No, they got too much energy for me.
And this transitions into a different bit. He's talking about about women. So yes, as a matter of fact, let's watch this. So this part of the bit, he's talking about like how women act versus men in relationships and stuff that women do that men necessarily don't like or whatever. Watch this. This is the dirty version, and then we're gonna watch the other one. There's the clean version he did on the network. So check this out.
Notice I said they always have to be doing something. Like they can't take a day off, You can't have a day off when you have a girlfriend. They just see that open day. They're like, oh my God, let's fucking fill it up with shit. They just come at you with one horrible idea after another. They have the worst ideas. They do. You ever get to this one, they'll be like, you want to go to brunch? You want to go to brunch on Sunday? And inside you're like, fucking no.
Right? 2 curse words. He said shit and fucking. 2 curse words. Look at the audience, man. These people are falling out of their seats.
You can't say that. You got to keep her happy, right? So what do? You agree? Yeah, let's go to brunch. What a great idea. Why would you want to sleep in on a Sunday when you can go pay $52 for eggs? Now you're thinking. Then we can sit around and listen to your friends have moronic conversations about the eggs, is that pesto? Is that pesto in your omelet? Oh, it's asparagus. It's asparagus. I thought it was pesto.
Not a lot of curse words, but he's like milking the crowd for every single laugh, man. He's comfortable. You see him on stage, right? You see he's in the zone, right? He's comfortable. He's relaxed. He can do it at his own pace. He can use the words he wants to use.
I was dating this girl recently. She was really into women's issues,
So that whole pesto thing was that's some funny shit. And then we're going to come back to this. Let's go back over to the network show. Same material. Let's see. It starts at 1:04. Is that right? No, it's 4:04. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second I jotted down the time hacks. But it's the same material. And you notice comedians we'll take our bits. He's taking this from an hour worth of material. This is his hour set, but he's cherry picking the stuff that he wants to do. All of his gold. But he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna run with this and this, and you kind of smash them together. You chop them up, you mix them up, and you smash them together. And it normally works for you. If you're a good comedian, most of your stuff should crush. Not only will it crush in LA, but it'll crush in New York, and it'll crush in Tampa. It'll crush in London. You know what I mean? It'll crush in Frankfurt, Germany. I can't tell you how many hostels I did, and I'm like, there's people here from all over the world, and they got the jokes, man, especially the political stuff. That's when George W. Bush was in office, I ran a whole bunch of political jokes. 75% of my material was political, and they got every single joke, bro. Every single joke. So yeah, man. So if funny is funny, man. Shout out to Brett Ernst. He told me that a long time ago. It's like funny is funny, man. I don't care what room it is. Asian room, black room, white room, Latino room. It doesn't matter. If it's funny, they'll laugh. So let's check this out. Same material, but this is the network. This is the network version.
No, they have too much energy for me. Like, that's what I noticed. You can't have a day off when you have a girlfriend. You ever notice that? It's almost like they see that open day. They're like, oh, my God, let's go fill it up with stuff.
Got a big laugh. He said stuff, still got a big laugh.
Oh, then they just come at you with one horrible idea after another. Horrible ideas. Like, you want to make some sandwiches and go to the park? You want to go to the container store, get some containers for your T-shirts?
People, to get these kind of laugh breaks and applause breaks on a network show is massive. And this is when Bill Burr was coming into his own. No one really knew who he was. On the big stage. To get these kind of laughs on like a Tonight Show or Letterman or whatever on the network is major, y'all. It's major. Tammy, just tell me what's going on. Funny is funny. Yes, it is. It really, really is. And thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Let's get you a horn blast. Welcome to the show. I think it's the first time I've seen you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but let's continue.
Yeah, they're awful. I'll tell you the worst one. You ever get this one? You want to go to brunch? You want to go to brunch on Sunday? And inside you're like, no. But you can't say that. You got to keep it.
Now, did you hear when he did the act out? No. But on the other one, he said, fucking no. And the house just went crazy, right? One word. One word. Isn't that crazy how one word can change the entire bit?
I'm happy, right? So what do? You agree. You're like, yeah, let's go to brunch. What a great idea. Why would you want to sleep in on a Sunday when you can go pay $18 for eggs? Nah, you're thinking. Then we can sit around and listen to your friends have moronic conversations about the eggs. Like, is that pesto? Is that pesto in your omelet? Oh, it's asparagus. It's asparagus. I thought it was pesto. Just want to flip the whole table over. All right, I'm out of time. You guys a lot of fun. Thanks.
You know what I mean? You see the difference. Just a couple words, man, a couple spicy words changes it all. I mean, with young comics, man, you're fighting through the nervousness. You know you're not funny. You haven't done anything yet. You haven't found anything yet. So as a young comic, you're fighting through so much stuff, right? And, as a young comic, the curse words, the shock value will get you a chuckle. So they go back to it all the time. It's like saying, you know what I mean? It's like being vulgar and talking about sex jokes or using the N-word. If you're a young black comic, just use the N-word because it gets you a chuckle, might get you a laugh, and you keep going back to it, right? You will run a bit that just bombs, and then you'll just, come back and say dick or something, and people will start laughing. So it's like a crutch. The curse words become a crutch. But I'm listening to Bill Burr. It's like it's really just maybe 4 words that he changed in the bit that got the crowd just falling down laughing. So yeah, I mean that's just one of the things, man. And when you go out, you start studying, comedians, you will see this. You will see like how one word or the placement of a joke and stuff like that. Well, if you run this joke first and then follow it with this joke, you're gonna get a callback, and a callback means you can reference that joke. And people instantly remember, oh, that's right. He said that 2 minutes ago. He's so funny. You know what I mean? Cal Cease was great at this. He would call back his entire routine. He would do 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and at the end, he would do like this slow montage. And he calls back each and everything he did. Not just the punchline, but the act out. The facial expressions and stuff like that. It was brilliant. I used to sit back and watch that and would be in awe. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. And sit there as a comic like, why didn't I think of that? And this was during the era when the slow montage was like the Hollywood go-to toy. It was like in every sitcom, in every movie. You would have that montage thing where they're out playing sports and doing whatever. But yeah, Cal Cease did that, man. It was so funny. Miss AKA ladies in the house, what's good, love? We over here talking comedy. So, and we talked about that. Now you get your hour up, you got to squeeze it down to 2 to 3 to maybe 5 minutes so you can get on the network or whatever. And then you do that, and then you got to come out and come up with a whole new hour because you're going to do like 30 minutes on HBO or now 30 minutes on YouTube and whatever. But once you get to that point, you're cranking out new material. It's probably only going to take you a couple weeks, maybe a month to come up with this material. So it's not a big thing. It's so long as you're out and about. When the beer bug hit, people were stuck in the house and it would just stifle your creativity. I'm the kind of guy that goes out. I need to see stuff. And once I see it, I can put it into some sort of bit and then bring it out. But if I can't go outside, it's like, man, I can't. I don't want to have to just come up, get into my own mind and find a bit. Nah, that's way too much crazy stuff going on in there. It might not be funny, man. It might be scary. You know what I mean? And then we talked about laugh breaks. So this part right here, this is Bill Burr doing RP stuff, right? This is Bill Burr. And again, he's been talking about this stuff for so long. People talk about Patrice O'Neal, and how he was like probably one of the forefathers of RP. But, Patrice and Bill Burr were real cool, right? So, when comics get together, they tend to, they tend to have the same, not the same feelings, but they talk about the same issues and there's different takes. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, because maybe if I ever get to meet Bill Burr again, I'm going to ask him about this. Like, I'm like, yo, did you and Patrice talk about these quote unquote red pill things? Because Burr probably don't even know what red pill is. You know what I mean? But like, did y'all talk about this? And is this why you integrated into your bits? Because Bill Burr is always talking about this stuff, y'all. From his most recent live at Red Rocks, when he's talking about the WNBA, and he's talking about cancel culture, right? He's talking about he's talking about abortion, right? That's all. He's hitting it from a red pill lens, a completely unplugged lens. He's just looking at it, right? He's just looking at it. It was, again, that's adds to his greatness, in my opinion, because you can have these conversations and you're laughing about it, but you're still thinking. You're still thinking. So we're going to get into this in a second. I see everybody is enjoying it, interacting in the chat. I'm so glad y'all are. Good afternoon to all. You know what I mean? What We Know podcast was good, bros. That JT was good, fam. How you feeling? Welcome. Welcome. Y'all go over to What We Know podcast, man. Go ahead, give them a subscribe. Check out what they got going on over there. Them brothers is making it happen. Also, Black Man Unfiltered Network. Check that out. I will be on there tonight for the barbershop episode. It's when they just get a bunch of brothers together and talk about topical issues. And I think the time I think it's at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. I think it's 11:30 Central Time. I'll find out, but just go to Black Man Unfiltered. The thumbnail is already up. It's going to be with JT, brother JT, who's in the chat now, and brother Mandrill. They're going to be hosting, and I'm going to show up. So come over there and support us, man, and definitely check out what Black Man Unfiltered is doing. Shout out to Suzette Speaks. She celebrated her 1-year anniversary last night. I was on that show. I'm so proud of her doing her thing. That's my people. You know what I mean? She's down there making it happen. So, if you haven't already, go over to Suzette Speaks and also subscribe over there. Ladies, y'all will absolutely love what she's doing over there. We're trying our hardest to give her these red pill truths. But she gives us an opportunity to talk about it sometimes, but she really focuses on female issues and talks about things that can help benefit, like females in America and abroad. So check out what she's doing over there at Suzette Speaks, y'all. And then Brother JT says 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So cool. 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for that, brother. I'm going to be over there. I'll make sure I'm back and I'll make sure I'm on that show. Because I know that the black man wanted me on there because I think it's an extension of the Kanye conversation we had a couple days ago. So I'm definitely going to make it my business to get home so I could jump in on that. Shout out to Suzette. Absolutely. Suzette Speaks is doing great work. She's been in the game for a year now and is only getting better and better with each day. Shout out to Suzette Speaks. That's for her. So this red pill stuff, right? We're going to listen to this last couple minutes of this routine. And I'm telling y'all, Bill Burr, in my opinion, one of the founding fathers of this red pill thing when it comes to comedian. Because it didn't hit me until I figured out what the red pill was. And I'm like, yeah, Burr's been talking about this stuff forever. So let's check it out.
Because women always go on TV, they say all they want is to be treated exactly like guys. But if you listen to them, they don't. All they want is the good shit of being a guy. They're cherry picking. They look at a guy's life like it's like a buffet, right? Like you just can start picking out stuff, like same amount an hour, we'll take some of that. Pay for the movie, fuck that. You can keep that one. I don't like that one. This is nice, that's yucky, that's icky. I mean, come on, people, you can't choose. This girl gives me shit. She goes, well, why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job? I go, I'll tell you why. Because in the unlikely event that we're both on a Titanic and it starts to sink, for some fucked up reason, you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay.
Yo, if that's not RP, man, tell me what it is, bro. Feminists, man, they want everything to be equal until it's time to get off the Titanic. I'm sorry, someone has to stay with the kids. I'm going to stay with the kids. You stay on the boat and fucking die. Horrible death. Yo, no. You stay your ass on the boat. I'll watch the kids.
That's why I get the $1 an hour. No, it's a $1 an hour surcharge. You hear a bump in the night, I got to go check it out. Like, yes, he does have a knife. Anytime there's a hostage situation, who do they negotiate for? Well, at least let the women and children go. Well, what about me?
Exactly. At least let the women and children go, man. This was the early 2000s, y'all. This was the early 2000s. Bird's been on this for a minute. And like I said, you have to laugh. It's true. And it's fucking hilarious. You know what I mean? Look, Miss AKA lady is having a good laugh. She's like, we out. Nah, no, we out. You stay here on the boat. You stay over here with the band. I'm out of here with the kids. But let's continue.
You think I want to stay in the vault? Those 20 other sweaty guys sharing a bag of peanuts, you know? Praying to God I'm not the hostage who gets dragged out by the psycho with a gun to my head as he's asking the cops for a helicopter, which I know he's not going to get, right? I know he's not getting the helicopter. So now I got to make idle conversation with the 38 to my head going, dude, go for rent-a-car. I think you should go for the rent-a-car.
Y'all hear the laugh, right? You heard the applause breaks earlier. Like, I'm telling you, he's killing it. And he's not using a lot of curse words, man. Just a couple well-placed curse words, man. Gets you there 100%. Brother JT Bill Burr is the truth. Yes, he is. Let's continue.
See what I'm saying? Where are all those feminists then? You can't find them. There are no feminists in a house fire. You can take the most hardcore feminist, you know, some chick right in your face, you chauvinistic son of a bitch, you know, little short, little haircut, you know. Second those flames break out, she'll twist those little hairs into pigtails. Oh, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope. Facts. Is that what the young kids are saying? Facts. Ladies, feminism is cool until it's time to die. Nope. Y'all men go handle it. I'm not going to fight that saber-toothed tiger. Men, go do your thing. I'm going to go gather over here. I'll be at the cave. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at all. Why? Because when I was in the Army, it would be like, yo, airborne. Where y'all at? Y'all going. You getting the toughest missions because you airborne. Now, your shirt says us Army on it just like mine. You can grab your weapon and go over there and fight these dudes. Why I got to go face the tanks? Because I'm airborne and that's what we do. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're going to drop you and you're going to be surrounded. So we just embrace it. Like, yeah, I'm airborne. I'm supposed to be surrounded. Same thing. Like, ladies, if you want true equality, okay, you can have it. But when it gets bad, like when the going gets tough, the tough gets going, right? It's not when the going gets tough, right? The women go away with the kids. Nah, if you're going to be with us, you're going to be with us. But Bill Burr was on this a long time ago. Let's continue. No, that's why I hated that movie, the Titanic. Every girl I meet thinks that movie's romantic. It's irritating. I think that was really romantic, don't you think? It's like, no. It's a fucking horror film.
He has the crowd now in his hand. He can't mess this up. Look how comfortable he is. He has the mic stand. He's playing with the mic stand. He's got his mic up. He's moving around freely. He's smiling. He's having a good time. As a comedian, this is where you want to be. This is what you work hard for. This is where you want to strive to be when you have the crowd. Once you have the crowd, that is it right there, bro. Because when you starting out, it don't happen much. I just keep it 100. We're just not funny enough. You know what I mean? It don't happen as much, but at his level, he gets it all the time, and it never gets old. Even with me, I go out, have a good show. You know what I mean? I would say 7 out of 10 shows are good shows where I'm like, cool, I got this crowd. But I think with Bird's probably 100% now, and he still loves it. I wonder what drives him now, because we know he's going to have the crowd. But I wonder what drives him now. I'm gonna have to hit up some of my people and see if I can sit down and get Bird. Like he's an A-lister now. I don't think I'll be able to get him on my show, but I know I'll be able to sit down with him. Not film it, just kind of hang out. Because we do have mutual acquaintances and stuff like that. But I want to know. I wonder what drives him now. Miss Globe Girl, that's really funny, but real life situations are more complex than that. Nuh-uh, baby. Nuh-uh. You was in the Navy. You know what it is. When the saber-toothed tiger comes, if we're going to be equal, we both going to fight the saber-toothed tiger. You know what I mean? Can't like we're going to be equal and all that kind of stuff. And then when the saber-toothed tiger comes, like, nah, I'm going to go back with the ladies and I'm going to go gather over here gather berries and tend to the young folk. That's my only thing with feminism. Like, yo, if you want it. You want to be alpha, come take all the alpha stuff. You know what I mean? Like you said, that pay gap thing is like, yeah, it's $1 surcharge. It's because you get off the boat when it's gonna go down. You know what I mean? And but I get what you're saying though. Like, but Burr makes you think about it, and that's just the greatest thing about comedy. Really good stand-up comedians make you think. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know I love that. It's all about the
Think tank, Arch. Nothing gets past the old think tank. Nothing.
If it makes you think, then it's great comedy. Brother JT, I love his cartoon. F is for funny, hilarious. It is though. I've seen. Yeah, I haven't watched it all, but I don't watch a lot of television like that. But yeah, I do like to sit down and watch it. I love his stand up the most, though. I ain't gonna lie to you, Miss Glow Girl. We are all going down with the ship, DL. You might go down, like I said, because you hardcore Navy. But I know a lot of women is like, they getting in the boat with the youngins. You might be going down with the boat, and I ain't gonna lie to you because I'm old school. I don't mind. I think men should stay on the ship and go down. But that's another conversation. But again, great comedians make you have these conversations. Right, Bill Burr live at Rare Rocks when he was talking about the WNBA, talking about female sports. If you haven't seen it, go see it. There's so many reactions to that. Go check that out. Ms. Glover, have you seen that one when Bill Burr was talking about the NBA? Let me know because if you haven't, I'll pull it up. I will pull it up. But let's finish watching this.
And they're always like, why? I'm like, because all the guys died. See, you're watching it trying to relate, going, who would I be? You'd be that chick floating away in the big piece of luggage, right? I'm watching it going, who would I be? I'd be that dude when, like, the boat breaks in half, that dude who, like, falls straight down and bangs off the shit and goes in the water. That's who I'd be. I'd be wearing a tuxedo, not because I wanted to, but you wanted to dress up that night, right? I'd be falling the whole way down going, I should have fucked that chick in first class. All right, listen, I'm out of time. You guys are a lot of...
Yo, that's so funny. That is so funny. I got one of those troll things in here trying to tell y'all to go get some free virtual girls. That's crazy. Ms. Globe Girl, no, I'm not hardcore, but we are all going down with the ship. We don't have to get into that. Let me know if you saw that Bill Burr's thing on the women in the WNBA. And then Brother JT, like, that was hilarious, man. Yo, I kind of want to pull it up, but Bill Burr was on this red pill thing long ago. Again, I don't believe he is aware of the manosphere or the red pill movement. I don't think he is. I wasn't until I got out here. That's not something that we were hearing in California. That's not anything that any of the comics were talking about. We just, I just never heard of it before until I fell down the rabbit hole. So, but yeah, let me stop the screen. But that's what great comedy does. Great comedy makes you think. It makes you think. And Miss Glow Girl, I'm with you though. She was like, but we're all going down with the ship. See, that's that Navy talk right there. We're all going down with the ship. Not until the captain, once the captain says abandon ship, right? You got to jump over the side, right? I don't know much about Navy, but I know about that abandoned ship call. That's what y'all all waiting on. As soon as you hear abandoned ship, you out of there. With us in the airplane, it was a green light. Green light, go. We were out of there. We jumped right out the airplane, started counting. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. But yeah, that's Bill Burr. I think pound for pound, the greatest comedian out there doing it right now. I put Burr ahead of Dave Chappelle right now. Those guys go back and forth. You know what I mean? They kind of, when Chappelle's next bit probably put him on top, and then Burr do another one, might put him on top. But and comedians do push each other. Comedians watch. They watch each other like, oh, okay, I saw that. Yeah, let me come back and, you know what I'm saying? Let me come back and drop some thunder. So, but I say right now, Bill Burr, pound for pound, the funniest comic out there doing it. But that's just my opinion. And I just wanted to break down the clean comedy versus the dirty comedy, like the curse words versus no curse words. What's going on with the networks and, how comics have to negotiate, these streets. You know what I mean? The entertainment world, especially now with the whole cancel culture. I know for a fact that you look at what Joe Rogan has gone through. You look at what Dave Chappelle has gone through. I'm shocked they didn't go after Bill Burr. You know what I mean? Especially when the stuff he was talking about with Coco Chanel, the stuff he was talking about with the WNBA. I am shocked that they didn't go after him. I'm glad they didn't. I am so glad they didn't, because he was just telling the truth, right? He was telling the truth. When he said women failed the WNBA, it's like, yes, they did. And if y'all haven't seen that bit, you must watch that. You must watch it. Miss AKA Lady, how long does it take to feel that comfortable on stage? For me, it took 6 years. It took 6 years before I felt truly comfortable on stage, any stage. I mean, when you start out, like you'll be doing your shows or whatever, you'll have places that you frequent, places that, like we'll just call it like your home field advantage. You go, like I ran a bunch of rooms. So as a promoter, I would have a crowd that followed me. So whenever I performed, I had my crowd. So that was like home field advantage. But it took me like I said, like 5, 6 years before I got to the point, it doesn't matter what stage I'm on, I'm comfortable. To this day, I don't care. And I performed in New York, I think it was last year with my buddy Ty. And I ain't gonna lie, it was the first time I performed in a while, and I was a little nervous. Like you lose it. Because if you're not constantly up there performing, you kind of lose it. So I lost it a little bit. Like for, I would say the first 3 or 4 minutes of my routine, I was a little uncomfortable, but then it all came back. Once I got comfortable, I got a couple jokes in, got a couple punchlines in. All right, did a little crowd work, bam. And crowd work is you just messing with the crowd. Like, where are you from? What's your name? You kind of walking around doing that kind of stuff, making fun of the crowd. Once I did all that, I was cool. So for like the rest of the routine, I was solid. But it took, like 5, 6 years before you get to that point. And that's 5 or 6 years of hard work. You know what I mean? Getting up there doing it. Brother JT agrees Chappelle and Burr are on top. Yeah, I think those are the top 2 dogs right now. And they just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Which I love watching. And I continue to study, man. So that's it right there, man. That's my take on clean comedy versus dirty comedy, curse words versus no curse words, and how it affects you as an entertainer, as a comedian. And we got to see how the best do it. And you guys got to see for yourself. There is a difference in the audience reaction if it's done properly. I think it's funnier when you use the spicy words, but if you are a master comedian, you don't have to use the spicy words and you're still going to get big laughs. Bill Burr was getting big laughs on that Tonight Show, on that Letterman stage. You know what I mean? That was for the network. So shout out to all the comedians out there, man. Shout out to the top dogs, man. Shout out to Bill Burr. Shout out to Dave Chappelle and all the rest of them and all the greats. Let me see. Did you know comedian Taylor Craig? Nope. That name doesn't sound familiar at all. I wonder, was he an LA comic? Because that's where I was doing most of my dirt at the time I was in LA. LA, San Diego, Southern California for the most part. But no, Taylor Craig, I don't think I do. I'll look him up It could be somebody, because, you know, we all cross paths or whatever, you know what I mean? So, but I'll definitely look him up. But yeah, Brother JT, I don't think I knew him or know him. I'm assuming the brother's still alive. I don't think I got a chance to work with him. So, but yeah, man, we've been rocking out for an hour. Thanks for coming through. Like I said, from this point forward, the lives are going to be scheduled every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6:30 p.m. I'm still going to be throwing up random shows when I get around to it. Thank y'all so much for the support. Brother JT, thanks for coming through. I'll see you tonight on the panel on Black Man Unfiltered Network. Y'all should come through. Miss AKA Lady, thanks for coming through. Miss Globe Girl, always a pleasure to see you. You know what I mean? Sister Candace was in the house. Brother Doug was in the house. Act Ozzy. Sister Tammy came in for the first time that I ever noticed Tammy. So what's going on? And Act Ozzy was in the house. If I didn't mention you, bro. Brother Primal Studies was in the house. You know what I mean? That's another big supporter over there, Black Man Unfiltered. You know what I'm saying? Viper J was in the house making it happen, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming through. You know what I mean? This was fun. Y'all know what it is. Let me see. And Brother JT said his line used to be the moral of the story. I don't know. I'm gonna look him up, bro. I can't say that sounds familiar to me, and I got a pretty good memory. The moral of the story. I can't say that I do, but I'll look him up. And when I see you tonight, man, I'll let you know. Oh, he died. Oh, sorry to hear that. He died in 2020. I don't think I knew the brother, man. I don't think I did, but I'm gonna see if I can look him up. I'm gonna ask some people. Maybe I did meet him at some point, but the name doesn't sound familiar to me. The moral of the story. Nope. I'm gonna say no, but I'll check in. I'll let you know, bro. So, but yeah, I'm done for today, y'all. Thanks a lot. Again, y'all can catch me tonight on Black Man Unfiltered, the barbershop show, and then I'll see y'all. Well, I got some looking for the thumbnails, but I'll definitely see y'all on Tuesday. I might be doing some stuff on Monday, but definitely on Tuesday. Remember, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays moving forward, 6:30 p.m. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm DL Saint. This is the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast, but I'm going to talk to y'all later. Peace.